Well, good morning. Welcome to the Chief and Council for March 14th, 2025. And before we start, I will ask council if they're okay if I move the chair to Towfiq to ensure that we have quorum.
I agree.
Moved by Wendy, seconded by Kyle. All in favor?
In favor.
Towfiq, if you will take the chair until we have quorum, please.
Thank you so much.
Till someone else comes.
Thank you so much, Chief and Council members. Welcome to the March 14 Council meeting. The first agenda, we have adoption of agenda for Council meeting March 14, 2025. Today, addition or deletion. We have an addition like the CIBC is coming with a letter for council review and signature and presentation. So, council member, can you put us them at 10:30 a.m. It is in camera.
Okay.
Additions.
No more addition or deletion. So, motion to adopt the council meeting agenda for March 14, 2025. Moved by Wendy Jail, seconded by Councillor McIntosh. All in favor?
All in favor.
So next agenda, adoption of meeting minutes for February 20 and adoption of meeting minutes for February 21, 2025.
Just put on action items.
Yeah.
Action item page number 22, the first one. So the first one is like to connect with Alex regarding the detailed flyer on the wind power project. And to connect Zawad for the internal coordination to determine the availability of feasibility of slightly used wind option from the upcoming project. It is in progress. Alan and John, they are connected. Yeah. So, motion to approve the meeting minutes, draft meeting minutes of February 20, 2025, moved by Councillor McIntosh, seconded by Councillor Jail. All in favor? Yes. So, the next one is like adoption of approval of draft council meeting minutes, February 21, 2025. Action item is on page 8. The first action item is like Alex is to share relevant documentation, including the definition of highway under the Motor Vehicle Act with stakeholder for reference. This is regarding the CAN 4 connecting connector road to north side and south side. It is in progress. And yeah, that's all. So, February 21, 2025. Council meeting action item. So, council member, I need a motion to approve draft meeting minutes of February 29, 2025 council meeting. Moved by Councillor Jail, seconded by Councillor Gibbs. All in favor? Okay. So we have a quorum now. Council member, I'm passing the chair to Chief. Moved by Councillor McIntosh, seconded by Councillor Jail. All in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to be in public until 10:30, and then it'll be in camera for the rest of the day. So today we have this Towfiq and Zawad for trade force policy. You have the floor.
Good morning. Thank you. So as it was instructed, we have went ahead and created a draft of the trade courses support policy, and it was done in conjunction with and input from Barb from Capacity Development Department and Chelsea from Education Department. So I will start with the purpose. So this purpose of this policy is to provide financial assistance who want to enroll in trade courses, but not supported through the post-secondary policy, because, for example, if that course is not long enough, or there are other things which create ineligibility for those courses. So we have kept the eligibility. Next slide, please. We have kept the eligibility criteria fairly simple. So applicants obviously needs to be clearly members. The trade course we are supporting under this policy shouldn't be eligible under the post-secondary education support policy, meaning that if that is eligible, we will try to use that policy first. The trade course must provide some recognized certification or credential in a skilled trade or vocational field. This will not be applicable for, say, online training certificates and things which are really not providing any credible credential. Is that okay? Do we want to define it further?
No, the definition is part. Let me explain you part that. For example, trade courses like, for example, this should be someone who provides the certificate, not like somebody is getting a training from somebody, but there is no certificate, it is not recognized, right? It needs to be somewhere in a recognized institute that provides the certificate.
Crystal?
Yeah, I think I'm just adding to Towfiq really, and anything like that would really just fall under Barb's program anyway, I would think.
Yeah.
That was just they were taking a single course or not a full trade. I believe that already would fall under Barb, would it not?
Yeah, Crystal, the concept is like this program eventually it's gonna managed by Barb. So how it gonna work? So any request we get, we're gonna run through our funded programs first, the education department, Barb's program, and if it doesn't fall under the funded program, that is the like this program we use. Eventually, since it is straight, Barb gonna manage the program through our administration guideline.
Crystal?
And also, were we going to have discussion with economic development for any of our revenue share partners or any partners? And for also, because a lot of the trades, there's certain trades that it's hard to find. I guess it would be almost like the practicum hours. Like, are we able to maybe add that in some of our economic development partnership agreements as well? If there was something that we had a student, if a student was in pipe fitting, if we had a partnership with somebody that does something like that, can we also maybe put in the agreements that they would help support our students to?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think just because I know that there are a couple where it's really hard.
Yeah, to get apprenticeships, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Zawad?
I will take first. So then Zawad. So Crystal, yes. So it is in the policy we write somewhere. And meanwhile, I talked with Ivan Salter and Alan Stewart too, that moving forward, the new revenue sharing agreement, whoever we sign contract, they're gonna give us $5,000, and at least 2 of our member who take the trade course, that they're going to hire them as an apprenticeship or articleship student. So it is in the policy, this policy letter in the policy side. But I have a preliminary discussion with Ivan Salter yesterday, and Ivan Salter told me that it's a very good idea. We're going to make sure that it happens.
That's awesome.
Zawad?
No, that's all. So it is included in the policy section 6. We'll come there. The question I had though, do we want to include an eligible institutions list similar to what we have in the post-secondary education policy? It would be the same list.
What's on the list?
So that provides us with a list of eligible educational institutes. So for example, CNC would be included in there, but if it is a predatory some sort of online site who are selling courses, those things will not be included in that list. So that is a government approved list. So if it is okay, it is already included in our post-secondary support policy. We would like to say that the same eligible institution list applies.
But can there be a line in there for saying eligible, like say a member lives in Ontario, but there's eligible for schooling there, but it's not on the list?
No. It is a Canada-wide list.
Oh,
So it includes institutions across Canada.
What about the states?
So it doesn't include anything from the states. We do not have something similar, but if institution is accredited, that should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Accredited institute.
Yeah, just put accredited institute. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So there will be one line added in the eligibility criteria that the institution must be included from the eligible institutions list, which is included in the post-secondary support policy. All right, so next step is the funding process. So there are essentially two steps. One is the initial funding consideration. So if any request is received through any department, they will submit that request to the education and the capacity development department to find out if there is any funding stream provided by any other external funding sources can be utilized to provide funding for that request. If that is not possible, then the step 2 would be utilizing this particular funding source provided by the band, and capacity development department will oversee the utilization and overall administration of this particular funding provided by the band. Next couple slides, we'll talk about the program administration. So as I said, capacity development department will be responsible to maintain this program, including like managing applications, processing requests, keeping track of how much we have spent and all those things. So no, go ahead. Annual budget will be required to sustain the program, and obviously a designated funding pool needs to be established. So we suggested that Clydely will be contributing $100,000 in a fiscal year towards this initiative, and Economic Development Department will make their effort to cover this expense through the contributions from revenue sharing agreements, as Towfiq mentioned. We have kept a maximum funding ceiling of $10,000 per member, which would be applicable annually for the fiscal year. And that number was taken after consideration and talking with Chelsea and Barb with the trend and some information they have brought from CNC and some trade courses which our member were interested into. They felt that this $10,000 funding cap would be sufficient to have anybody enrolled in a trade course which is less than 8 months, because more than 8 months courses are supported through post-secondary policy anyways. However,
there's got to be a line in there somewhere, because like for heavy equipment operators, like it's 6 months and it's $40,000.
Yeah, so right, so that's why go to the next slide, please. So that is why we kept the last point for any members who needs any support beyond listed above. That would be considered in a case-by-case basis, so that we do not just say that, okay, it is a little bit over, we're not paying. Okay. So that would depend. Yeah, that would depend on how much money we have, if that member has accessed it before, things like that.
Okay. That's good.
Can you
Because I was thinking
sorry.
that too, what if they were taking the good course where it's like,
So one difference from post-secondary policy, that is for the school year, like September to August, but this one is for fiscal year. Next slide, please. To ensure broader access, it would be limited to one funded program for one applicant per fiscal year. So one member can have access to this funding once in one fiscal year, so that we can support more people. And this funding would cover tuition, books, material, supplies, and living allowance in this order. So meaning that if there is a funding cap, for example, $10,000, and the course only costs, say, $4,000 or $5,000. So, and rest of the $5,000, say that is not enough for all the book supplies and living allowances, what is the maximum amount, then we would follow this order. Like we will pay the tuition first, then we will pay the books and materials and supplies first, and then it would be living allowances. So living allowances might go slightly lower again if there is a situation where we can do that and the member is not able to match with that money for their needs, then it would be considered. But in general, the guideline for the program administration will be to have the tuition first, then books and supplies, then living allowances. And the living allowance will not exceed a total of 12 weeks and a maximum of $400 a week. For any member, like I said, who needs any support beyond this list would be considered on a case-by-case basis. Next slide, please. The approval process. So while the capacity development will be managing the program, so because this is a purely band-funded program, the final approval for all those will be coming from the executive director or any delegated staff the executive director may delegate it to. Decisions will be based on budget availability primarily for this particular funding and also the alignment with Cladely's capacity development priorities. The availability of funding will be reviewed periodically so that we ensure that allocations are made fairly and people are having the access they need to have. Request will be evaluated based on the applicant's potential to complete the course successfully and contribute to the community workforce development. Priority will be given to applicants who are first-time recipients. Let's say at the very end of the fiscal year, we do not have enough funding, or for some reason we cannot fund 2 people, for instances. So we would see that if one of those people are first-time applicants over the other one. So we will try to set up some sort of priority basis, and in cases where demands exceed significantly than available funding, then ranking system may be used based on factors such as financial need, career impact, and previous funding history. We didn't want to put all of those things in there, so because the idea is to help and support, right? So we will try to help and support everybody who seeks funding under this. But if this is a situation that we need $1 million versus we only have 200,000, then we probably would have to introduce this type of measures to kind of filter out the applications. Okay. So review and reporting. The Capacity Development Department will conduct an annual review of the program. A report will be provided or created by the department to summarize the program's impact and fund utilization. The effectiveness of program will be measured by tracking completion rate, employment outcome, and skill development progress among who is receiving under this. So we want to see how much impact it is having so that we can probably go back and also tell the revenue sharing agreement partners that this is how you are making impact to the community as well. So we need some sort of tracking tool. As part of this policy, we have also developed all these templates so that these are available to Barb, and she just puts data in there. So she doesn't have to create all this. So this is already created, all these templates and everything. So Economic Development Department will make every effort to secure job placement for those successful members who are doing some trade courses under this, not only under this, but also some other funding sources we are doing, but they will put significant effort so that they can secure some job. And that creates a little bit more push for people to take this type of courses. Survey and feedback mechanisms will be implemented to quantify the impact of the funding on employment opportunities and workforce development. That template is also created for Barb to use. The amendment can be done to ensure effectiveness, how we are doing, if we need more, less, depending on the progress and the reports, and obviously any amendment will require council approval.
Is Chelsea can look for grants too? For trades?
We haven't specifically said that in this policy, but that is an exercise she continuously does.
Yeah.
Chantal, right?
Yeah. Chantal.
Chantal.
She called. Yeah. She's always looking for grants. Very good. Wendy?
I'm just curious about I'm just asking this from my own experience. Like when I was doing a trade program a few years ago, I got funding through student loan for that. But then life happened and I became really ill and everything, and I couldn't continue going. I missed too much and I had to drop out, but I still had to pay student loans off and I couldn't finish the course. So was there something in place where kind of protect?
Text Josh. He's asking that.
Because life, unforeseen circumstances. Say they're doing a heavy equipment operator and they're 2 months away from completing and, exceeding their goal, but something happened that was unforeseen.
So basically, we didn't say that we will claw back any money we have spent towards the course or anything. So there is no repercussion for this, but we obviously want to see somebody successful,
Yes.
right? And that doesn't impact. Like if something happens, we are not going to say that, hey, you have to pay this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not there.
Good.
Good. Thank you.
Any question here?
Yes, I was reading it.
No, this is important. Trades is something that's needed desperately because our members need to be able to take trade courses. I think it is a field that is not being utilized enough. We're losing a lot of tradespeople, and there's a lot of jobs out there for trades, skilled trade workers. Maybe we need a motion. Motion for
Motion to approve the trade course policy.
motion to approve the trade course support policy. Support our members in trades. Moved by Wendy, second by Kyle. All in favor? Yep. Support.
Cool. Yay, I can't wait
Take
to
it later.
see the successful people coming in.
So one quick note on this one. There might be a question why there is more living allowances provided under the post-secondary support policy than this one. So the answer to that is basically it was discussed quite heavily among people, and I think we have discussed this with Crystals at some point before as well. So when we are going for a 2-year, 4-year study period, the commitment is longer. That essentially often puts people out of job.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, it's more support is needed, whereas these things are shorter term commitments. So it is not as like, there is a little bit of difference, right? And what we suggested is not a lot of difference. So we set maximum of 400 per week. So that is 1,600. And we, I think, pay 1,625 or 1,650 per month. So it's not really different.
Yeah.
A little bit of difference. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Yes, thank you for getting this together.
Yes.
Everybody's
Job well
signature.
done, for sure.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you, Zawad. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Zawad.
Okay, next on the agenda, custom election update from Towfiq.
Thank you, council member. So when we go through this case, the case. So there is an email from Sonia. I'm reading out the email. It is already shared with all council members. So it is like, we understand that the next council meeting will later this week. As such, we like to provide you an update on the custom election law project along with a few proposed revision to the work plan for the coming months. First, we update to regarding community engagement with members. Our original work plan sets out that we'll complete community engagement no later than March 1st, 2025. We have completed all our in-person and virtual community engagement sessions, and we have learned a lot from members about what they would like to see in custom election law. However, there are some areas where members who attended the session were conflicted on what they would like to see in the law. In mid-December 2024, We posted a report to community on PDTNA website that sets out what we heard from members at the end in person and virtual community engagement sessions and explains what next steps in the custom election law development process to members. Created a survey that we hope will help us determine which of the competing approaches discussed at community meetings on various topics are the most supported by members. Launched the online survey question for community members to complete by signing in through the PDTNA website. As of today, we have received the following survey response from members. Survey 1, 14 persons, 11 hard copy responded and 3 online survey. Survey 2, 12 responses, 9 hard copy and 3 online. Survey 3, 12 person, 11 hard copy and 1 online response. Due to the holidays and lack of available time competing demands on Adam's end, we have not provided members with any substantial update on his project by email out or other method. This may be having a negative impact on our online survey results from out-of-town members who were not present at the member general meeting when we provided an in-person update to members. We recommended that, so there are some recommendations now, that PDTNA extend its effort to increase input from community members on the survey questions. To do this, we propose that PDTNA extend the deadline for online survey to a new deadline of April 30, 2025 instead of February 28. Send a mail out to all members, both on and off reserve, encouraging their participation in the online survey. Adam believes he can ensure the notice in this mail no later than March 21. The mail out includes a notice that covers the information in the first 2 pages of the report to member with a QR code and website address for people to go to. Begin to make bi-weekly social media posts on PDTNA social media pages encouraging members to complete the survey. Have Towfiq send an email to all staff directing them to encourage members who they meet with their day-to-day role to complete the online survey and direct them to places where they can use a computer or Wi-Fi connection to do so. Have chief and council member complete the survey and advertise on their personal social media profile that they have done so, also with the encouraging message for other members to do the same. We believe it is likely that direct support of this project from the chief and council members will increase members' participation in the survey, basically encouraging members to complete the survey. After you have a chance to discuss this as a group, please let me know if the above revision addition to task to the work plan are acceptable and approved for us to move forward with. We are also curious whether there are any budget available for us to give members incentive to complete the survey. Maybe a cash draw that they get their names entered into the completing survey. Just a suggestion. We also recommend that we hold a meeting with the Elders Society to discuss area of the proposed custom election law where members expressed a desire to have either direct elders representation and involvement of chief and council related matters or traditional governance structure incorporated in the custom election law. We have reached out to the Elder Society and we talked to Lenora about a meeting. We hope to hear back from them soon about that. And Lenora has advised us that any meeting will likely be after the election on April 9, 2025. We anticipate that Tina Law will attend this meeting virtually. After you have a chance to discuss this as a group, please let us know if you approve us adding a meeting with the Elder Society to the work plan. We should also ask for a volunteer to attend the elders meeting to work with any interested elders on completion of the survey afterward, should any wish to leave have held. Just an afterthought I am having after my meeting with Adam. Last, we update you on the drafting of the ratification document and proposed custom election law. The original work plan presented to Council set out that in April and May 2025, Tina Law will draft and make any necessary revisions to a proposed custom election law, as well as draft a ratification document that sets out how Clearditina will go about its ratification of the proposed custom election law. We are still on track for this work to be completed by end of May 2025. Ratification document drafting. Adam provided Kina Law with some of the documents that Clearditina used to guide it in its last treaty vote. Kina Law also has precedent ratification document it has used with other communities for ratification votes. As of the next step, Kina Law will draft the ratification document for the custom election law ratification vote, taking into consideration how Clearditina has conducted its ratification vote in the past. Custom election law drafting. While the survey continues and we wait to meet with the Elder Society, Kina Law will also begin drafting the custom election law. There are some areas where we have gathered enough input from members to begin this drafting for other areas. The survey results and meeting with the Elder Society will help to solidify what members want to see in the law. Kina Law will create a space holder in the law for those areas where we need more input from members. Okay, that's all in the terms of update. Please let us know if you have any other request. So there are 3 requests from council member. Number 1 is like if we could extend the online survey from February 28 to 25. So from my side, I would recommend so. The reason is like we spent a lot of money for this project, and the intention is to get membership input as much as possible. So we got input like 14, 12 for 3 sessions. So we need to do something that we get at least 100, more than 100 for the survey part. It will strengthen when we put it to East for our custom election law.
Yeah, well, the survey, they've only got 30 people responding out of just about 900 members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is number 1. We can do that then. Number 2 is like mail out. We can send a mail out after the election, because before the election, if we send another mail out, membership may confuse starts going on. After the election, we can send a mail out with the QR list, everything. And if required, like we suggest a new deadline of April 13, even like we can, since we cannot send it now, probably we can extend it another 15 days, May 15.
May 15.
May 15.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
And that is like these are all admin action. I can do that bi-weekly, post on social media. Towfiq gonna talk with staff, send a staff email to encourage whomever they make in membership. And that happen chief and council, then you will motivate like in your social media post or something. And yes, obviously that is like money is a motivation. So if you could like say 10 draws, like $50 gift card, who submit their name, we do a online draw, and whoever wins, you can just 10 gift certificate or like whatever you want. $50 is 10 or 20. Yes.
Could it be like on the online surveying? When you go on the online surveying, in some places, some members may they're trying to fill it out, but then something happens and it glitches on them, and
that's why we mail out.
Yeah, they lose everything. They have to redo it, so that's frustrating. So when that happened to me, I just said,
So how are we gonna do? We're gonna mail out the hard. We can mail out the hard copy to all members. Mail out. Maybe like we're gonna mail out 1,000.
Okay.
100, 800 to 800 members.
Then we could do it on paper and then mail
on the paper, mail it back, and there will be QR code there too.
Okay.
So if someone want to do, no, I'm not going to go to post office. QR code. Who is comfortable with that? Otherwise, mail back.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So gift cards or any thought like 10 after any draw, gift draw.
Yeah, 50. It's usually 50.
50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
50?
Yeah.
$50?
Yeah, it's usually 50.
$50.
Yeah.
Yes. After you have a chance to discuss with the group, please let us know. Okay. Elder Society, she can connect and meet with the Elder Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
separate.
It's a separate thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, council member. I got my direction how to do.
Thank you so much. So,
Okay.
we're going in camera now for the rest of the day. Hope everyone enjoys their weekend and hopefully we get a spring to come soon. So for online, have a great day and see you soon.
Have a good weekend.